lacrosse.
Yeah.
Hello. Hello, lacrosse friends. Welcome to the 2023 IIJL World Junior Lacrosse Championship in SaskTel Center. I am Stephen Stamp, joined by Cody Jansen, and tonight we see Poland come back to try and bounce back from a tough game against Canada last night, and they will be facing an Australian team who is making their debut at the tournament this year.
What I'm interested to see for Poland is how do you respond after a little bit of a shot to the ego, right? We know the players they have, we know the potential they have, but now you're going to be a little bit more worn down than Australia, who's been prepping for this for a few days now.
We're going to go down to our third member of our crew. Ryan Flaherty will be between the benches tonight. And Ryan, what have you got to think about this one?
Hey guys, yeah, day two here and game two for the Polish team. And I was speaking with head coach Luke Japaniak before this game, and he said he actually quite liked the last 20 minutes or so of their game last night against Canada. Of course, it was a very lopsided affair, and the Polish team was able to get some traction offensively over that last 20 minutes or so. In fact, they were deadlocked 6-6 over the last few minutes of that contest. So he felt that his team settled in a lot better, and they're ready to build off that last few minutes of the game yesterday against a totally different opponent, a very different opponent, in fact, in Australia. A less experienced opponent, of course, than the Canadian hosts. Australia, in fact, featuring a roster that has about half its players making their box lacrosse debut right here tonight. So I was speaking with their head coach Wade Hammond earlier, and he said, you know, we watched Canada play last night. We watched the games. There's teams out here that are throwing the ball at angles we've never seen before, but this is a great learning opportunity for us. And let me tell you, as the Aussies take the floor, there is a ton of energy and enthusiasm on that side. They are excited to get out here for their first game. So should be a real fun matchup between these two sides here this evening.
Thanks, Ryan, and we are going to get to our starting goalies soon and get the game underway as the teams have come out onto the floor. And the one thing for Australia, I know I was talking to Jack Stokes, who played for this Australian team in 2019 at the World Juniors in Mississauga, and is now back as a coach. He's moved to Canada. He's playing in British Columbia in the Arena Lacrosse League West, and in the summer he's playing as well, some Senior B, and he just, when he first saw him, we're going to go with the starting goalies, and you can see right there for Australia, we've got Connor McGee between the pipes. He's one of the returners for this team. Not a lot of guys back, but McGee will make the debut for them tonight. And at the other end of the floor, William Koza, the regular starter for Poland.
Well, Koza played half a game yesterday against Canada, and I think they knew the way that one was going to go, so they give him the rest. They know now is a must-win game if they want to finish second in Group A. So now everything's on the line right now. This is potentially setting up for their quarterfinal that they want, or yes, they're going to be in a tough hole come a couple of days' time.
Yeah, because obviously the Australians are fairly realistic about what's going to happen when they play Canada. They know that they are not in the same ballpark yet. They're trying. That's where they aim to get at some point. Jack Stokes was saying when he arrived from British Columbia and saw their first practice, he was worried. He was like, these guys, the ball's hitting the floor a lot. But he said they've improved tremendously, and we'll see how it is as we get underway with the first quarter of Game 3 of the 2023 IIJL World Juniors. I'm Stephen Stamp with Cody Jansen and Ryan Flaherty, and it didn't start well for Australia. What a perfect start for Poland right off the hop.
What a finish right there. Just in transition, smooth as Preston Stewart inside feed. Got the pass a little low, but he's going to put that one bar south. Not a bad start 11 seconds in as Preston Stewart gets Poland rolling.
Considering that Poland had one goal through how long last night? About 40 minutes or so. So getting one 11 seconds in, obviously a substantial improvement. They have the ball back once again as Daniel Gutnecht comes away with it. We're in the A as an alternate captain for Poland. He'll hand it off, and they set up in the offensive zone. Thomas Ratt, another defender, leaves it there. They still have two forwards to get out on the floor, and that's going to leave Hunter Mayers all on his own, but he manages to fight off the defenders, get the pass across, and here comes Poland with the offense. And that one's off the post, off the arm of McGee. bit of a break maybe for the Aussies.
Gyrflug stepped into it as well. You want to get shots early, especially when you score quickly into a game, because sometimes you can catch goalies guessing after they allow that first one.
Jake Statham started with the number 51 at the top. He moved it around there. They've got it to the left. He's taking a rip right off the bat. Matthew McIntosh. There's the first shot for the Aussies, turned aside by Koza. And Trey McShannock, their face-off guy, moves up into the offensive zone. Doesn't see anyone he likes for the pass, and that's a low one. Skips it on the turf, but Henry Elliott goes and gets it. Pretty good pass through, but just gets away from Matthew Wagner. And Australia will come up for their second offensive set. Ball in the stick of Tyler James. He hands it off, and here's Joshua Nickel. Oscar Page. This is a young Australian team, a bunch of guys who are a few 16-year-olds, a bunch of 18 and 19-year-olds, hardly any that are 20. That shot is blocked out front. Australia can't get that one through to the net, but a big battle. You know the Aussies are going to work hard for it. They're going to run out of time, though, in the shot clock.
Looked like Hebig tried to feather in a low-to-low there instead of just stepping into one. I think early, if you're a coach, you want to see them ripping it at the goaltender. Make him think twice. Don't give him any easy saves.
Yeah, just try and get something. I like that point. There's a pass through that turns into a shot. We saw a couple of tip drill goals yesterday. That one, fortunately for the Aussies, did not get in, and they will move it up once again with Austin Butler handing it off. Dylan Hebig is going to take his time along the boards. Poland content to let Australia set up. They're just getting their fifth attacker out. Orlando Kernigan takes the pass immediately off to Hebig. There's a nice hard shot, but right into the chest protector.
Koza had 27 saves yesterday against Canada. Now he's got, 2 in this one, not 3 yet.
Mayer's taking his time, and illegal pick. And Mayers wants play blown in. he's gonna be told to wait. He's saying, hey, it's a quick restart rule, so let's start it. I mean, there is a point where you just blow it in and he gets to pick it up, right?
I think Australia's getting one mulligan in this one.
Yes, I think that's a fair way of putting it. There's the shot from Nickel, another save by Koza.
He wants that quick outlet.
Gutnecht. So Poland pushing the pace, nothing coming of it so far. But, I mean, that's how you make it happen, is you keep trying. We'll see if they can get that transition game rolling the way they're trying to. Poland taking their time now, down to 10 seconds. Boy, when they didn't go transition, they went really settled. Down to 5 on the shot clock. And a big hit coming. No goal. I'm not sure if he called crease or the shot clock. I thought the 30 was over.
I thought it was fine, but Hunter Sika, great drive. Got around his defender, perfect pick. Feet stay out, tucked it over, but I guess we don't get official call if they think it was shot clock or crease.
Yeah, it was very close on the shot clock. It looked good on the crease to me too. Oh, there's a big hit from Coda Tran, just getting on the side and flattening his counterpart. Page hands it off to Hebig. Little low to high, but Koza was ready. And again, looking up the floor. They've got McShannock up along the side. Can they get? They're not going to make the pass. Probably a good decision by Carson Isnana.
And with the pro rules, again, it's 4 quarters. So look out for that transition in quarter 2 and 4. That's when you'll really see a goaltender like William Koza be able to take advantage of slow changes.
Comes to the near side. Henry Elliott tries to get the pass through. They're running out of time again. Poland, not sure if the Aussies are confusing them a bit or if Poland's just trying to be patient, but they're getting very deep into their shot clocks. Here's Nickel. Statham. Oh, there's a big soak from Charlot Lafreniere. Goes back to Australia. And then after that shot, Orlando Kernigan was absolutely flattened.
Australia's getting shots on goal, but they're coming from bad angles, and they're very low percentage chances.
That one was a little better. He had some time to get it off. It might have been the best shot they've had yet. Still not exactly where you're aiming to get it. But again, as you mentioned, as Ryan mentioned, a lot of these Australian players in their first actual box lacrosse game today, they're going to get a power play in a moment as it's scooped up there, and we'll have the slashing call will send Australia to the man advantage.
Well, as you get a look at it on the replay here as well, defender just a little bit overzealous with the slash and got it right on the back of Nickel. And ref standing 15, 20 feet away from him, gonna ding him for that one. So Chase Richardson's going to the sin bin, and Australia a chance to respond.
Kernigan setting up at the top. They tend to call him Ollie, full name Orlando Kernigan. He's going to get that pass and get it over. Let the lefties get involved here for a moment. Showbrook back up to Kernigan. Back to Kernigan. Pretty methodical so far on the power play. They get it down low. Stepping here is Hebig. That was actually a good shooting spot, but it was right in the middle of the pole and crest on the goalie's jersey. The best shot positioning so far, not the best result.
Not going to score through the chest protector.
No, not unless they've got some newfangled chest protectors that are very different than most of them. Kernigan will just let it rip. That's one that gets right inside the post. What a beautiful shot. And Orlando Kernigan has the first Australian goal of the tournament.
Big finish right there for the 2006 born forward, the big righty. Again, the defender takes away that far side, so he's able to pull it back actually inside on him, and he puts that one just inside the post. Koza maybe caught a little bit back in his net for the position the shot came from. Nonetheless, Australia's tied it back up at 1.
And a face-off win by Hebig, and Australia's going to try to take their first lead. Statham
taking face-offs for the SWAT.
Yeah, just 3 Canadian-based players picked up by Australia. The rest of them all came over, made the long flight from down under. Kernigan hands it off. Page tries to get a pass. They do get it. They're running out of time, though. Ooh. And they might get one mulligan on the delay game as well.
That was close.
Yes. Thomas Ratt steps over again. Poland looking for transition. You know if it's there, they're going to take the chance because they are trying to find it every time they get a chance to go up the floor. Just so far, no opportunities availing. They'll take their time, and Elliott lobs it across. Preston Stewart from outside, swallowed up by McGee. He was looking down the floor, but there was nothing there.
It's a good save. Doesn't give up a rebound either, which would have extended that possession.
Close takes that pass and immediately hands it off.
Statham's actually a 07 born. One of the youngest players in the tournament, playing a big role, and you wouldn't be able to tell. He stands pretty tall out on the floor.
Yeah, he's a big kid, but there are the 3 Australian 16-year-olds. And that'd be, yes, Isaac Dishon, Kernigan, and I was sure there's one other. I'm sure there's
Oscar
one other.
Page.
Is it Oscar Page?
He's
okay.
an 07. There's only got 2 07s, Stratham and Oscar Page.
Yeah. Nice defense there, closing in, popping it free, scooped up by James Suffolk, and he's going for a run.
If Australia can play physical defense, they're going to give Poland all sorts of fits here.
That obviously is the MO. Their defensive coach, Jack Stokes, I mentioned, he moved to BC after playing in this tournament. There's a shot again to the chest pad, and Stokes, he's pretty excited about being back, and it's very cool to see a player from the tournament, a guy who played in the tournament, coming back and coaching. And he's gone on, he's had some success playing here in Canada, and now Poland just circling around the back. A little pick there from Stewart. Australia again swarming the ball carrier, and the ball as it's down on the floor. Poland once again getting way deep. Oh, that's a nice play by the defender, Archie Papazoglu, the alternate captain. They love Papazoglu for his grit, and you can see how hard he was working there. Not the biggest guy, but he is wiry strong. And a really nice defensive play. Here's Page setting up.
Got the two young guys on the righties.
Yeah, Luke Thomas, 44. Isaac Dishon is 47. Here comes Trey McShannock. He's looking like he wants to stay and play. Earlier, he stayed out for an offensive shift for a while, and he looked a little uncomfortable. I thought he was just hoping to get off the floor. That time, it looked like he had the feel that he just wanted to stay out there and develop something. Little handcuffing pass, caught, though, by Dallas Goodwill. Big bump in the corner, and the forecheck by Poland. Nice work by Braxton Ernst to allow Matthew Wagner to pick it up, and Wagner will get it up to the top to Gutknecht. Don't see a ton of him out on the offense. Big pick there, and the roll, that's a nice save by McGee on a very well executed pick and roll that led to Preston Stewart's shot. Here's a cutter, another chance, another save by McGee, and now we're gonna have a Poland penalty. Oh no, it is Australia.
That's the two-man game Poland needs to get going, though, is Sika and Stewart. Because if they're to win ball games at this tournament, those two are going to play an integral role. You got to look at the save there by Connor McGee. Boy, that's a nice right kick. And now tied at 1-1. This is going to be a turning point in momentum if Poland can find a way to put one in the back of the net, or if Australia can escape with a big penalty kill.
Poland setting up in the offensive zone. Got Elliott at the top, we'll move it across. Sika down low. Now Stewart gets it back up, taking their time. Again, I would say another methodical power play. Shire Flug. Oh, nothing methodical about that. He just rips that one into the top corner.
Hit that post earlier, and this time Aiden Shireflug is able to rip this one past Connor McGee. You got to look here on the replay. Just one little pick in the middle, and he's able to go far side on McGee. Watch this step around. Defenders open up, puts it in the back of the net, and it's the captain who brings Poland back up 2-1.
And we're going to go down to Ryan Flaherty between the benches. Ryan, what are you hearing down there?
Well, actually, it's not what we're necessarily hearing down here, but the fact that you've got a captive audience on the other side of the world right now. These games are at a perfect time for all the Australian fans back home down under. Of course, it is Wednesday morning in Australia right now, and I was speaking with some of the supporters here for the Australian side, and very excited to see the fact that they can watch these games from back home. Of course, they've traveled well as well. You can see the Australian flags in the stands as well, but very excited to be here. They are loving it here in Saskatoon, but also pretty pumped that the fans and friends and family back home are getting a chance to watch this all tournament long.
Thanks, Ryan. And what they're seeing right now is going to be an Australia power play again. Hello to everyone who is watching from Australia. Very pleased to have you with us. Always enjoy having the Australians at tournaments. Just great folks. It's fun to see the coaching staff, who are all guys who have represented Australia in World Lacrosse World Championships and in IIJL World Championships. And Wade Hammond, who is a veteran of that Australian team, the head coach now. Australia working their way in. Pulling pretty tight on the penalty kill. Australia is kind of staying out wide, not trying to work their way in at all yet. Here they go, start to run a play. Nickel cuts across the top, they're going to go to the middle to Hebig. Again, right in the middle of the chest. He's got a couple of chances, hasn't hit his spots, and Poland is going to just run it out of the zone with Cooper Ganch. Ganch has a nice look around, sees where everybody is, and hands it off there to Elliott.
Elliott had a goal and an assist yesterday against Canada.
Right now, he's just waiting for this shot clock to tick down with nobody pressuring him. Now, Papazoglu gets after him. And almost gets a shot on net as he just flips that one in, rolls to the keeper. And Papazoglu will take the pass and set it up, handing it off to Statham. Just want to say hi to Callie, if you're watching. One of the Wade Hammond's partner, not one of Wade Hammond's partners, his only partner, but one of the people I met back in 2015 in Onondaga at the Worlds. And yeah, just fantastic folks that travel, as you said, so well. That shot goes wide, and that's going to be an over and back. Just checking out all the refs. They look at each other, agree, no touch. So it will be a chance for Poland to kill almost the rest of this penalty with 33 left to go.
I think Goodwill was hoping that maybe it caught a piece of the goaltender. Obviously it didn't. His dunk attempt, we'll see a lot more of those as the week goes on.
Yeah.
Players are allowed to jump into the crease here.
And they love it. Papazoglu, the pass to Dishon doesn't connect, so it's going to be a turnover as we're under 3 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Just flying by. A little bit of forecheck pressure from Dishon, but a nice job by Isnana to just run through that. And the backdoor wide open attempt. That's through the crease. He can't play it, but it doesn't matter as the Aussies pick it up. And the captain, Michael Green, has to run himself out of some trouble. Does it. Gets it ahead to Showbrook. And that pass to Page. Oh, takes one in the middle of the back as he comes out of the penalty box. And Page had no idea he was coming up behind him.
He's lucky Hunchak held up.
Yes. There's a hard rip, no problem for Koza. He saw it all the way. One thing the Australians have not really been able to create opportunities for shots where Koza isn't getting a good look at it so far, Cody.
Well, they keep shooting from the same spot. He's made 11 out of his 12 saves from that same angle. And so far, the only goal that's beat him came from the middle.
Poland looking to extend their lead down to 5 on the shot clock. Sika kind of runs into his man. They're going to call, is that through his crease? I didn't quite understand that hand gesture. I think it wasn't a moving pick, or illegal pick. It must have been through the crease. It was a bit of a swipe motion.
Your guess is as good as mine.
Australia, now they're going to have a chance to try and tie things up. Halfway through their shot clock already as Thomas takes this pass. Gets some high defense from McShannock. Oh, that's a hard rip off the post by McIntosh. Poland coming the other way. They're just over a minute, so we'll see. It's a very low-scoring game compared to what we've seen in the openers. I mean, 32 goals in the... Here's a drive to the net. Oh! And there's a lovely finish by Thomas Ratt, the defender, who has played very few offensive shifts. I think that's only the second time we've seen him up front. Makes it count.
Well, the assistant captain able to cut underneath his defender there, blows past Dishon and just goes short side on McGee, who, again, it's tough to really come out and challenge on that circumstance, but you really have to be cognizant of a potential crease dive. And, you know, probably 7 out of 10 times you'd see that player try to go flying across. Instead, he avoids the crease and actually pulls it short side, and that gives McGee trouble with it.
Australia gets possession here. They're not going to go for a two-for-one, which I think is probably a concept that, you know, would be a bit much for them when they're, again, playing the first box game for a lot of these guys. They'll just settle down, 15 on the shot clock, see what they can generate here. Page, nobody coming to him, and now eventually Gutneck gets after him. They're down to 6 on the shot clock. That one just a bit too far for McIntosh. He'll let it fly, hit a defender out front. That one was just after the shot clock, so the 30 will expire.
Good save by Koza there as Page was ready for it.
There's a nice save by McGee, and the Aussies will get the last chance if they can get the ball up the floor quickly enough. Jack Higgins up to Papazoglu. 6 seconds. They don't really seem to be showing much urgency. Now the cut to McIntosh. Nice pass. They're going to get a shot. No, they're just after the buzzer. It did turn into a pretty nice play, just about a half second late. That is it for 1 quarter of play here at the 2023 IIJL World Juniors. I'm Steven Sample, Cody Jansen, and Ryan Flaherty. We'll be back right after this. Skills Canada is an education and career development partner of the Canadian Lacrosse League. Visit skillscanada.com to learn more. And we're going to go right down to Ryan Flaherty between the benches.
Thanks a lot here with Australian coach Wade Hammond. You got scored on 11 seconds in, but down just 2 after 1 quarter of play. What did you think of your team's response after that early goal?
Yeah, we'll take that. That early goal is one of those things, if you sleep early, they'll make you pay, and we did in that first 11 seconds. So after that, we got a bit of composure. We started to get our lines running. Yeah, we've had a pretty big 3 days. So for these guys to take all that information in and process that and get back out in the field and put it into action, I'm pretty proud so far.
You yourself have played in some world championships. How much of that experience can you pass on to these guys? What have you told them to maybe expect about playing in an international event?
Just that the stadiums are really, really good. We don't get this at home. That's a big jumbotron up there. So now we're very happy to be playing on something as quality as this. Our box we got at home, this is the goal. But no, the guys are just having a great time.
Great. Well, thanks a lot, and good luck the rest of the way.
All right. Thanks for everyone at home supporting us, eh?
Guys?
Wade Hammond with the stick in his hands as he did that interview, and then it had to be handed back to Dylan Hebig because he needed it to go play.
Yeah, one's a little bit more important than the other.
Yes. I'm Stephen Stamp with Cody Jansen. We've got Ryan Flaherty down between the benches. Great to have Ryan along. He's really good down there.
That he is, true pro.
Yeah. Hebig with that face-off twig is ready to roll. Hunter Sika has to get his gloves back on, get the stick all set. Hebig pulls it out, but pops it straight to Gutnecht. Lots of pressure, though. The ball's out. They don't realize it, but one does, and it is scooped up there. Austin Butler heading into the offensive zone. Hands it off. We were talking about second and fourth quarter is when transition can sometimes really kick in, when you've got the long change. That's saved by Koza. He's not going to get a chance here because it's tied up in his equipment. So they'll just move slowly up the floor.
Koza's been good. 14 saves now through a quarter and 30 seconds.
Directing traffic from the top. Elliott just wants things to spread out. And they have to send out the late man, Braxton Ernst, just to have 5 forwards on the floor. Oh, that's a handball. I know some of these guys are new to box, but you can't play it with your hand in field either, right? Was that actually a penalty?
Delay a game.
Okay.
Jack Higgins is, that's a natural instinct right there.
Oh, yeah.
Ball is coming out your head, put your hand in the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't do that, young man. And so Poland going back to the power play, second time in this game. They're 1 for 1 so far.
Just keep your hand on the stick, and you'll be okay. You should have 2 hands on your stick playing defense most of the time anyway. Sika looks low, goes back to the top to Elliott. And here comes the captain. And that one's in. That's another rip on the run by Shireflug. Quick work on the power play.
Back-to-back power play goals for Aiden Shireflug, his 3rd of the tournament. And right there, you can see just on the run, doesn't allow McGee any time to get set up, get some moving back, expecting a shot maybe around the defender. He goes with the flow, puts it far side, stick high on McGee, and now Poland up by 3.
Yeah, important to have that variety in shots. We talked about the last one. Shireflug got the chance to just load up and really rocket it. This one, running around the top, shooting off the hip on the run and finding the spot. We've got withholding by Poland. Australia will get possession, and again, they just sent everybody to the bench. Plays blown in. We talked about it before. They got the one mulligan, not another, and here's a chance and a goal, and they're going to learn from that one as Daniel Gutnecht makes them pay.
You can't send 5 guys to the change boxes there. It's going to get blown in. They want to play with speed at this tournament. And nice finish there by Gutnecht. Good awareness, too, because he could very well just back up, play defense, or you can get on the ball, stay 9 feet away like you're supposed to, and if no one's ready, they're going to blow it in. And Poland now has got a 5 spot on the board.
You can see Michael Green, the captain for Australia, going over and discussing it with the officials, who I'm sure just said, play gets blown in. It's a quick start. We're going. You have to be there. And, that's the kind of thing, again, one of the first things you preach for the kids who are new to the box is going to be get off the floor. If it's a turnover, get to the bench. Let's get the forwards out. Here's a wide open chance for Showbrook, who lets it, or Kernigan, who let it fly and then was absolutely flattened by Thomas Ratt, who's got a goal and now one of the bigger hits of the game. but not all 5 of them. She said somebody's got to get the ball. Here's Showbrook now. Things are opening up. He's not quite sure where he wants to go. He'll flip it over to the righties, and that's a shot that's knocked down in front. Shot clock was about to expire, but the Poles have it. They're on the run. Chase Richardson being chased. Nice save by McGee, and again, controlling the rebound. They've got a man up the floor. He's screaming for it. They're trying to get it to McIntosh, and it's picked off. Now it's going to be Poland's chance to run. They're going to miss the pass as well, but they get it back, and there's another player wide open. Big save by McGee, and the leap out to cover the rebound. What an interesting little play that whole sequence was.
It's a good second effort by Connor McGee here.
Yeah.
As you see, it's a good defensive play that starts it by Mayers. And then it's McGee with the stop, but he's got the rebound as well as he robs Preston Stewart on the quick stick.
And he had a ways to go to get to that ball, extending the stick with the Polish player sitting right on top of it. Looks like we've got another power play coming, except that nobody's gone to the box. Or they just saw the refs indicating it might have been, I don't know. Honestly, here goes Australia. They get Statham out as the 5th forward. Takes the pass, immediately moves it to Hebig. On the run with the shot, Koza again, and now there's that wide open look. Breakaway for Gutnecht. Can he get another one? No, McGee stops it. This time the rebound gets away, but no worries as Statham was there to come away with it. McIntosh. That's a pretty nice play, hitting the cutter, but Kernaghan not able to beat Koza, and again Poland pushing it.
At this point, Poland might as well just keep a 5th forward on defense and just send him every time Koza makes a save because he's controlling the rebound, he's feeling confident with that, and he's flipping it up to his stick well. He's passing good too. So for Poland, you got to utilize that.
Here's a break for Sika, scooped up by McGee, and he's looking up the floor and throws it to a man who's wide open but has his head turned the other way. But Tyler James is able to recover and get that pass. Gets to Papazoglu. He's got a couple guys cutting from the bench. He wants to go on his own. It's not a bad shot, but Koza had no trouble with it. That one he had to double clutch, so there won't be a break, but he's still looking up the floor and still going to throw it up over center. The risk-reward ratio was a little different on that one, but they almost had a chance anyway. Diving to the net. Cooper Ganch unable to get a really good shot off.
Ganch had some room too, and he's a big lad at 6'3". He's got a long stride. He was able to cut inside and almost put it short side on McGee.
Just didn't quite get the angle on the cut that he was hoping in because he went up really deep on that shot. Loose ball push, and Australia will get possession. You can hear the excitement of this Australian team just to be here and playing and to be involved in battles like that. Ratchie. Down low. Showbrook. Back to him. Statham, the 5th man out. It's just a hard shot from Kernaghan, but again, Koza saw that coming. I think before Kernaghan even realized he was going to shoot, Koza knew it was on the way.
When you're shooting from that 45-degree angle as well, that takes away approximately 1/3 of the net that you would normally see if you're shooting right from the slot. So when you consider goaltending as a game of angles, you're really limiting your chance.
Hidden ball trick attempt by Poland, but not fooling Michael Green at all. And he almost managed to get a strip. Then a great foot save by Connor McGee. Goes straight back out to Goodwill. And Dallas Goodwill will move it across Poland with a fresh 30. They're going to set things back up. Sika. 2-man game again. Michael Green. You can see why he's the captain. He's showing some nice awareness. Little rugby style pass going behind him for Connor McGee. And Australia gets up over center within the 10-second count. Hebig's hard pass across just got away from McIntosh, or he would have had a nice chance from the slot. Carter Page turns and rips it. Oh, that is a blast. And he is fired up.
It's a perfectly placed shot. You just get the handoff, and he turns and he goes high to high, and Oscar Page is able to put this one right under the bar. Koza, again, it's an angle he saw those shots, but it's that one step to the middle that opens up room for Page, and he rips it high on him.
Do you notice the difference in the way, I mean, just seeing Carter Page, Oscar Page, the way he's moving with the ball, controlling the ball. Earlier in the game, he looked like he was always a lot of thinking. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? And that one, he was ready, just ready to go. And that's, 19 minutes, 20 minutes into his first game here at the World Juniors. Ball mishandled, so Poland will slow things down. Richardson looking for cutters. That one got tipped. McGee will get out and after it. Hands it off, just gets out of the crease in time. Wings it ahead. Here's Papazoglu. Looks like Papazoglu's kind of holding his left thigh. May have strained something. Just put a little. There's a hard rip. Didn't get through. It did get through. He's looking behind Koza. And Ryan, you've got something about Papazoglu after this play. Let's get to you. But here's a drive by McShannock. Nice save. He'll go back to Poland. Sorry, we just lost Ryan there for a moment. Might have to check his batteries. We'll get back to him and find out more about Papazoglu after this possession. Here's Sika. Gets by close. There's a save by McGee. Stepped in the crease anyway. Ryan, you want to go again?
We're good now. Yeah, Papazoglu was coming off the bench for his last shift and just kind of stumbled on a little bit of a turf monster, and it looked like he's kind of pulled his hammy or his thigh a little bit there and was kind of favoring it, just tripped on his own coming off the bench, and you could see his frustration as he tried to leg it out, but obviously in some discomfort after an unfortunate fall there.
Thanks, Ryan. Extra attacker with the delayed penalty coming. Down to 8 seconds for Australia. The last man on gets it. Hebig rips it. It's wide. Snagged there by Keenan Hunchak. And we will have...
That was a healthy hack by Oscar Page after the fact. You're not going to get away with too many of those. And I think this is going to be evened up here on the play.
Here we have the other
You get a look at the... Oh, he maybe got 2 in there, too. And it was a little low as well. Yeah. So easy call. Evens it up. It'll stay 5-on-5. And so no coincidentals, dropping it down to 4-on-4 here.
The first one he probably would have gotten away with, but the second one for sure. That was a pretty healthy backswing. So as you mentioned, 5-on-5 with just under 7 minutes now to go here in the first half. It's Poland 5, Australia 2 at the 2023 World Juniors on TSN Plus and YouTube around the world. Nice closing defense by Papazoglu. Good effort by Butler to try and get through it, but he can't get it. But Papazoglu has it, has the man ahead. Penalty coming. Hebig going to go after his own rebound, but he probably went through the crease. Yeah, he just lets Poland get the ball. We're going to have a holding call from that battle at mid-floor, and Australia will now get the power play they almost got before Page got a little riled up.
Well, a couple of those Poland players as well, it almost looked like after they got it turned over here, they looked to the bench as their first step almost of should I change or not, and that definitely cannot be the play when, especially in quarters 2 and 4, when the opponent has the short change. You got to get back and you got to cut that off as quick as possible.
Especially when you're on the far side of the floor from the benches. I mean, I guess you can make an argument if you're up near center near the bench, you can gain the length, but from there was no question they needed to get off, like you said, with the whole length of the floor for their teammates to go. Power play chance here, ripping it was Joshua Nickel, and Koza, he's still looking up the floor, even shorthanded. Shows a commitment to wanting to run. Some nice pressure from Hebig causes a bit of an issue from his Nana, and they just make it across the timeline. Here comes Thomas Ratt. Watched in the corner by McIntosh.
See, but on that penalty kill, if that top penalty killer goes to the bench first. You can get out the forward, and then Koza can throw the extra long stretch. There, they kind of hesitated, and it held them up. Yeah,
nobody was going. There's a delayed penalty coming now to Australia. Poland gets a reset. They're going to have time in the now 5-on-5 as a shorthand, but have the extra attacker. They go to the back door for the quick stick. Gets away from Sika, but they do come back up with it. Elliott fighting through again, the pass to Sika, and that one off the post. It looked like it was going in. It went off the post and off the back of McGee, but wound up staying out.
Well, we'll get 4-on-4 for the next 51 seconds. You get to see the call there. It's in a little bit of an awkward spot, and so cross-checking will be the call. And you get to look at the Sika opportunity as well. McGee got a piece of that, too, it looked like, and he was able to keep it out. Sika just missed on a quick stick earlier, so he wasn't going to try the one-timer. He caught it and thought the extra second might help him out.
And it almost did. It was close. Now we are back, as you said, 4-on-4. Another 40 seconds in the Poland penalty. There's a big hit. You said, the Australians playing that physical game that their athletes are known for. That one, though, gets knocked away from Papazoglu, and Poland's going to put some pressure back on Sika hands it off.
Great play by Preston Stewart on the back check there. After he turns it over, he's able to force it back, and now Poland gets to get set up again here.
Ball's back on the floor. Papazoglu going after it, and he's going to come away with the ball. Takes off. He's got a man ahead. And the man off the bench. That's your guy, but nice job hustling back by Chase Richardson and hustling off the bench to take away the angle. And then the hard defensive effort knocks it loose. And this game's getting really physical. Nothing cheap, really. Nobody getting over the line, but boy, they are really starting to lay the lumber.
It was Braxton Ernst that was throwing bodies around there, and now Australia Green is getting sent off right now. I believe that's Papazoglu on the ground. Here you'll get another look at the opportunity where Stewart trying to catch that pass. Didn't actually get control of it before he got hit, but he was in the motion.
Yes. And it's Papazoglu, as Ryan pointed out, who seemed to strain his thigh a bit or his quad a bit earlier coming off the bench, and has been struggling with it a little bit since. Not too bad. He's moving on his own power, getting to the bench. But we will go now to the power play for Poland as their penalty has expired.
2 for 2 in the game. Shire Flugs got both.
And Henry Elliott had to motion to the bench. They needed a fifth attacker out there. They'd only sent 4 guys because the play, I think they got a little confused by all the excitement, the delay, forgot the 5th guy was coming out. There's a hard rip by Elliott. Had McGee leaning the wrong way, but he made the stop, and now the outlet pass, and that's a beauty. Can they get a chance to score? Oh, it's a nice opportunity for Butler, but he misses, and now the illegal substitution. The slashing call on the trail. McShannock, and he didn't argue at all.
It's a perfect pass for McGee as well, and Butler, a little hop step, took the slash, actually ended up getting Koza on the ground on his knee, so he had some room up top, but nonetheless, penalty negated, and we'll play some more 4-on-4 for the next 31 seconds.
And then it'll be Australia back to the power play, and what a change in the way Australia is playing from the first quarter to the second quarter. Obviously, still lots of lessons for them to learn, but they are picking it up quickly, and that was a pretty nice chance for Ratchie. It goes off of Koza. Oh, but you got to chase after that one, and it turns into a breakaway. Big save by McGee, who's having a terrific outing, but boy, Hunter Mayers just out-hustled and out-wanted the ball on that one against a pair of Australians. And that one, I think Gus Ratchie may not have realized Mayers was that close because he was going a little lackadaisically after it. Almost cost them. Here comes McIntosh out of the box. He'll go straight to the bench, and the 5th attacker comes out to set up the power play. They've got 7 on the shot clock. Hebig looking for the shot. That one's wide. It's going to be either over and back or in the benches. It'll go over and back.
Now that rarely works on a power play when it's a little bit of hero ball and the one player works it up. You got to get the goaltender moving, especially when the tender's dialed in like William Koza right now. He stopped 24-26, and he's been dang near perfect for most of this contest.
Yeah, looking very sharp and just not the look you're going for now. Australia being very casual on their penalty kill or on their power play defense. They're not getting out and pressuring Poland. Now they do, and almost causing the strip. It's late in the 30. Nice work by Tyler James. Wasn't able to get it. 35 seconds left on the man advantage. Australia's got a full shot clock to work with as we're down to 2.5 in the first half of play.
They can run it through Kernaghan a little bit more in my mind. He's got 1-1 already in this contest here, as Page will be up top on this power play.
Hebig hands it off to Page. Kernaghan not on the floor at the moment. Hebig wasn't ready for that one, but he gets it off the backboards. They go over to Statham. His sudden shot stopped by Koza. Here comes Poland. That'll do it for the power play. McShannock is going to go to the bench and let the offense set up. Double team on the ball carrier. Not sure if he's cradling. You can see the ref getting in to see. Yeah, it's a nice job to show the stick by Cooper Ganch. It's a great effort. A hard twister. McGee another stop. Boy, Connor McGee made huge strides last year at the tournament, and he is really looking good today.
Preston Stewart got that one off in a phone booth. A little twister going low. Great save by McGee.
Here's a chance for Hebig. Koza, again, looking very sharp. Scoops the ball up, looks up the floor. Wise play, seeing the Sika was covered. But again, at every single time Koza gets the ball, he's just looking up the floor as his first thought. Coming up to the final minute of the first half in a 5-2 Poland game at the 2023 IIJL World Juniors. Sika rips it. That one's well wide. Closes the first one there. Oh, that's going to be at least 2. He is not happy about taking that check in the back. I don't think Shire Flug was trying to really ram him headfirst into the boards, but that's basically what happened.
Well, I think they're going to talk this over. I would assume it would be a major here on Shire Flug. In international rules, there's certainly no leeway for that. And this could be a crucial penalty taken by the captain here. You're up by 3. And now you've just given Australia a major power play. Yes, they're only 1 for 4 this evening, but they have the potential to find the back of the net.
Yeah, and good thing that I think Close may have been aware they were letting him know there was only a few seconds left in the shot clock because he wasn't bending over, which may have helped him because he was pretty upright when he went into the board. So thank goodness for that as Australia goes to the major power play. 38 seconds to go in the half. That shot is wide from Kernaghan. It's going to get up into the bench. Poland will get it. Almost a chance for Rat to break away.
The Aussie bench just helped out Poland by throwing the ball back onto the floor.
Yeah.
I think you take that as a souvenir and you slow him down as much as possible because Thomas Rat was looking to go north quick.
Yeah, and then you look innocent. Like, what? Oh, the ball. Here, should we give it to you? Should we keep? What should we do? You don't have to hurry. Jump shot. Nice save by McGee again, leaving that arm out. 5 seconds to go in the half. There's a Polish player down in the corner. And time will run out. Yeah, he's still down, and it's 5-2 at the half. There's a penalty coming. Or sorry, the penalty is still on. And we are going to take a break here at the 2023 IIJL World Juniors, but we will be back with highlights from today's game and from the games yesterday in just a few minutes. Thanks for being with us here from the SaskTel Center. We'll see you in a moment.
Welcome back to SaskTel Center halftime as Poland leads Australia by a score of 5-2. Of course, Poland in their second game of the IIJL World Junior Championships. Australia playing their first contest here this week, and a little bit more feistiness on the floor than we saw in either of the games here on day one. That should lead to a very entertaining second half of action. Well, it's time to focus on the crease, and specifically in the Australian end of the floor, and a story that really falls under the category of truth is stranger than fiction. Of course, Connor McGee is in between the pipes for Team Australia here tonight. He's had a pretty solid first half with 21 saves, but there's another Connor McGee in the mix with Team Australia. Let me explain. Now, the Australians arrived here late last week. They got an exhibition game in with the local club program, of course, the Saskatchewan SWAT. Now, there is a goaltender who plays for the SWAT whose name is, yes, Connor McGee. And after that exhibition game, the Australian coaching staff and team were so impressed with not only what they saw from the Saskatchewan Connor McGee, but also some of the comments that they heard from him in terms of just analyzing the goaltending. So they were so impressed, in fact, that they extended an offer to him to join their group for the week as their goaltending coach. So Canada's Connor McGee is now helping out Australia's Connor McGee, and of course both Australian goaltenders, just giving some tips, some pointers, and helping them along the way as they adjust to the box game. It's just a wonderful example of the partnership between the Australian team and the Saskatchewan SWAT program, of course, essentially the hosts here this week in Saskatoon. And that bond has really forged a very strong relationship between the two programs. So strong, in fact, that the Australians are hoping to send some players over here to Saskatchewan next summer to play junior lacrosse with the SWAT and help them develop their game even further. So you just never know what can happen when two teams get together. I ran into the SWAT goaltender Connor McGee last night, and he said, yeah, I've never really done any coaching before, but I've always kind of wanted to try it. And now he's got an opportunity to kind of get his feet wet in the coaching realm while he's still playing lacrosse himself. So just a really cool partnership between Australia and Saskatchewan, and two goaltenders from half a world apart, both named Connor McGee. We'll take another break here at halftime in Saskatoon. Poland leading Australia 5-2. More halftime coming right up.
Maximum Lacrosse is the official net provider of the 2023 IIJL World Junior Lacrosse Championship. Visit sorry, I took my glasses off, Cody. o'neilllacrosse.com for all your lacrosse goaltending needs. Welcome back to the SaskTel Center and the 2023 IIJL World Juniors. And we're going to start with highlights from this game, which has obviously been, Cody, a marked improvement for Poland over last night.
Well, Poland's definitely looked a lot more confident. They look comfortable. They look like they've built some chemistry as well. And in the first half, it showed. They were able to put up a little bit of offense, and it started early, right? It was right off the hop. I know they looked like friends out there, but it was a physical affair as well. As off that draw, Sika won the opening face-off, and it was Preston Stewart who got things rolling for Poland. And for Poland, they were getting offense in different ways. Kernigan he's the only Australian player with 2 points in that opening half as well. You see a power play marker, which for Australia, they're going to have to figure that out. But Aiden Schierflug as well, 2 goals for Poland. The captain has been clutch, although he took a 5-minute major at the end. You see the goal from Rat as well, able to cut out in transition. And it's not to degrade what McGee's been doing between the pipes, but at the other end, his counterpart in Koza has been just a little bit better. There you get a look at the major. Australia is actually going to start the second half on a power play. There's about 4 minutes left in that one, and again, we're in for an interesting third and fourth quarter here, Stamp.
It should be fun. I think it'll be interesting to see how the Aussies come out against a Poland team who had a tough time last night. We're going to look at highlights from the game last night, and that's going to be very Canada-centric.
And for Canada, it was just everything they touched found its way into the back of the net. You got 18-point performances. You got 14-point performances. Canada was just so dominant at times, it looked like a practice. And there's nothing. You see William Koza between the pipes. There was really nothing he could do at times. And for Canada, it was just a shooting gallery. Again, Bose, 18 points in that game. You've got to see him before as well. I think Finn Halliday stood out to me as you get a look at one of his goals on the fadeaway shot. There was a lot of players who are slowly making a name for themselves here.
And Matt Bose was obviously pretty happy about getting 18 points. I think he was more excited when I talked to him after the game that he had 3 caused turnovers. He said he's never had 3 caused turnovers in a game, and they were saying, the coach is kind of kidding him about that being the defensive play of his career. A couple of plays. So Matt Bose had a good time playing both ways. Canada with a big win, and we're going to take a break, and we'll be back with the second half. It is 5-2, as you can see behind us. Poland over Australia here at the 2023 IIJL World Juniors. Signature Lacrosse is the official ball provider of the 2023 IIJL World Junior Lacrosse Championship. Visit signaturelacrosse.com. Cody Jansen is with me, Stephen Stamper, Ryan Flaherty down between the benches. Cody, you mentioned about 4 minutes, 4:08 on the major power play for Australia on the Schierflug penalty.
As you see some of the guys get their season A's pressed on for Poland. Again, they outshot Australia in that opening half of play, 28-26. Power plays, Poland 2 for 3 on the man advantage. Australia was 1 for 4. But now you've got the opportunity to really start to build on this lead. If there's I think we can be honest here, if there's a winnable round robin game, it's right now. You're down by 3. You've got a major power play. You don't want to look ahead to Canada tomorrow, because right now, if you can chip away slowly and get to William Koza, there is a chance Australia could pick up a win here.
100%. And we've talked about how Australia is just looking more and more comfortable. Again, the learning curve is very steep when you're brand new, as so many of their players are to the box. They're going to send Luke Thomas out to take this face-off, and he'll be up against Daniel Gutknecht. So we're not seeing McShannock. Trying to see if he's on the bench over there. I think they just want to have Gutknecht out as they have their penalty kill unit ready to go if they lose the draw, as they wind up doing. Kernigan's going to wait, and Australia slow to get the power play unit on the floor. They got one more that has to go. That's, again, a little inexperienced. You see Oscar Page was waiting for a player to get off the bench. That wasn't the guy he was subbing for. Little pass down low. He knew he had to shoot quickly as the 30 was expiring, so he took the shot. The ball wasn't quite there yet. And here comes Cooper Ganch. Breakaway for him. Nice save, McGee. Doesn't know where the rebound is, though, and Ganch has it. They're going to say he went through the crease. He's not happy. He thought he'd stayed out.
That's a huge save by Connor McGee right now. That's an opportunity where it's real deflating to allow a shorty, and when your goaltender bails you out like that, it's great. But it's going to be a too many men on the floor, legal substitution call against Australia. So now we'll play 4-on-4 for the next 2 minutes, and the major power play essentially becomes a minor.
Right, there'll be a minute 20 left on it afterwards. I guess the difference, you can still score 2 goals. Of course, Australia's only got 2, so it'd be a pretty big step for them to get a couple in a minute 20, but you never know. They really seem Poland to be going after McGee's left thigh area. Well, that one they go ripping it high, a blast from Preston Stewart off the crossbar, but he has been pretty good having to throw that left hand down, use the left arm to make those off-stick saves. And I don't know where, if Poland watched some tape from last year and was getting a scouting report on McGee, but let's see what they do as this game goes forward. Lots of space on the floor with the 4-on-4. Cross to Sika. He's going to get a little pick. Slip pick in the roll. That one gets out. Did it touch anybody? They say it did. It was very close to McGee's foot. Guess it just grazed it, and Poland will get the ball back.
Good here and hit it from up here. He moved over to his right well. He was reading it. Doesn't come out and play a high arc at all. And so he's got to be a very reactive style of goaltender between the pipes.
Spin and a shot. That one's wide. That didn't touch anything. Snagged there by Suffolk. He's on the run. Oh, there's a great save by Koza. I think Australia was arguing for an early change and a too many men call, but I thought that was a pretty good change by Poland. The foot got in the box, and nice effort to come back by Dallas Goodwill to get the ball so it wasn't turned over, but it will be anyway as the 10 seconds runs out. And again, Australia, there we go. You can see Archie Papazoglu learning from the error earlier as he was going to the bench with all the rest of the Aussies, then turned around and came back for the quick start. The learning curve, again, very steep, and they're learning. Gotta love it. Page, low pass, but catches it. Looking for that same spot he hit earlier for the goal, but it was a little lower, and that was not a comfortable save for William Koza. You can see he took it in one of the few unprotected spots the goalies have.
That'll make your windpipe sound weird a little bit later on. Got that one right in the throat. And now Poland, again, there's about a 7-second differential, so they're going to end up running out this 4-on-4 here, and then they'll be shorthanded.
Sika gets a pick. There's the roll. Ooh, and pops back up, and just getting flattened there is Stewart. Penalty coming as the Aussies got a little overzealous. Yeah, and you can see, I thought there might be one coming. I didn't see the hand at first, but once he's on the ground, you gotta let up.
Well, if the axe chop to the spine wasn't enough, a little rough after the play will do so. And now, essentially, it'll be 4-on-4 for the rest of this major power play that Australia has wasted away. And then Poland will go to the power play, which they're clicking at 66% at.
And it was Jackson Close, the second play, the one who ran over Preston Stewart, not the one who, as you said, gave him the axe chop to the vertebrae. Either way, the penalty is called, and here's Poland with that potential there. Cutting underneath the Sika. Kind of crossed his hands, got a little awkward, couldn't quite get where he wanted, and that's going to mean over and back, and Australia will get possession. And Austin Butler heads up to get the ball.
Sika and Stewart I think Sika was waiting for Stewart to actually drop back as all the defenders were ball watching on that play.
Oh, that is a soak in the back of the legs by Carson Isnana, who went down for a moment, pops back up, and trots off to the bench. Proof once again how tough lacrosse players are. That shot right in the middle of McGee almost got him mixed up because I think he thought the shot was going to the far side. He moved out of the way and was a little lucky to get that one as the shot wasn't really where it was aimed possibly. Hebig working at it, but a nice battle by Braxton Ernst. Picks it up with one hand with green jerseys all around him, and they're going to say loose ball push on Hebig because Ernst hadn't quite picked it up. They quickly move it up the floor, but it gets away from Ganch, who again was an all-world team member at the World U18s last year in Buffalo. World U18s, World U16s this year happening in late August in Utica at the new Utica University Nexus Center. Great facility. Poland to the power play. They've got 34 seconds to work with. Just 8 on the shot clock, and they're just getting their 5th guy out. Shirefluke, hard shot. McGee tries to pounce onto the loose ball again. This time he didn't get there, but it's Papazoglu with it. Outlet pass. A nice try there by Michael Green, looking straight back over his head. Poland taking their time. They're not in a position to take a shot now with just a few seconds left on the power play. Although Sika on the back door wanted a pass, and they actually do take the shot, and that could spring a defender. That's going to be back in.
It's a wise play by Hunter Sika right there to realize that the defender just totally lost track of where he was. And you don't even have to push him hard, but as soon as he's in that crease, you're getting possession back.
Yeah, and it's not a check in the back. It's right on the side. Smart play, because there was Jackson Close was gone up the floor looking for a breakout pass. That shot is wide. And leap through the air from Archie Papazoglu, and he's not looking very comfortable again. It's that same left thigh that is bothering him as he launched himself into the air. Almost looked like an offensive end crease jump play. There's a little Josh Byrne attempt to get up there, but it was in his own crease, and it will be a slashing call on Poland. So Australia right back to the power play.
Hunter Mayer's a little overzealous, and it's an undisciplined penalty to take. After you get a push in the back, you can't turn around and chop the guy.
So often, of course, the second incident gets it, the second action gets the call. So Australia, we'll see if they can eventually take advantage of one of these penalties. Power play not really clicking for them yet, but there's Kernigan, hands it off. Nickel and Hebig get themselves aligned right behind each other. There's nobody really to pass to. Now Hebig's going to go hard pass to the back door. That was a nice play, but it just got away from McIntosh. He's going to go for the dunk attempt, gets it back, and the 30 will expire. Poland gets it.
It's a good save by Koza there. You can see him hug onto the crossbar, and he doesn't allow the ball any space to get in between there. Sometimes if you hit the goalie on the name bar, it'll actually roll down if they're not sealed against that crossbar. So not a bad look there for Australia, but now the penalty kill of Poland is going to look to extend this lead.
Just 6 seconds left on the shot clock, and a penalty coming to Australia. So once again, they've actually handed away their advantage. The save by McGee. The shot clock expired. I think it was after, but Australia picks it up anyway, and the holding call coming. James Suffolk, no argument. He is straight to the box. And with 54 left in the power play.
You got to look there. He got it with the left hand and threw the stick to the ground. A pretty obvious indicator that we'll be playing 4-on-4 lacrosse for the next 54 seconds.
Braxton Ernst, story passed it down. Here's Sika backpedaling behind the net. Watch there by Dishon. Stewart comes across. You go back to Sika, who bounces one. That's going to be a little high. Comes right back to him. They've got 6 to get a shot off. Nice duck underneath. Penalty coming. It's going to be wiped out by a goal on the cut. That's a beauty by Preston Stewart.
Well, we saw the footwork at the first goal of the game here when Poland opened the scoring. Preston Stewart's got around dish in there, and he just goes low. And McGee, who has been perfect in this second half, is finally beat by one. And Poland now has extended that lead back up to 4.
So that will wipe out the first penalty. Dishon's heading to the bench. He should actually be going, because that should eliminate the one that was already being counted down, right?
Since they weren't coincidentals, yes.
Yeah. So he should be going in. It should, yeah. For anyone who's fairly new to the game, if it's 4-on-4, or if it's same 5-on-5 because coincidentals, obviously that another penalty doesn't impact it. But the penalty that had been about a minute and a half should have come off, I believe, there. Bit of a break maybe for Australia. Here's Statham. He's going to toss it up to the top. Thomas will spin around. Nice play. I thought he was going to let it rip, and then he gets flattened. Thomas Rapp, what a game he's having. And another hit. That is 2 bone-crunching, flattening hits. We're going to go down quickly to Ryan Flaherty between the benches.
Thanks a lot, Stamper. Yeah, as we obviously saw Preston Stewart scoring that last goal for Poland in his second of the game. And he's a player that the Polish program really has its eyes on. His mother actually has Polish heritage, and for that reason they are trying to convince him to get his Polish passport because they would like him to play for Poland next year at the Men's World Championship. So Preston Stewart obviously catching the eyes and maybe has a longer future with the Polish program.
That's going to be a back in on Australia, and Poland will get set up again with still 37 seconds on their power play. We saw a similar situation after 2019 with Tyler Kolodka, who went over and played for a pair of Polish national teams. Ball movement from Poland. Back down to Sika. He's going to bounce one that gets a little bit wide. Still some time on the shot clock if they can get it quickly. It is tracked down there by Elliott. Now they're down to 6. Oh, nice fake by Sika. Dishon absolutely bought it, and that created all kinds of opening. That's a nice save by McGee on the dunk attempt. We're back to even strength. Suffolk out of the penalty box.
If you're Poland, you got to let Sika and Stewart cook because they are the ones driving the bus.
Here's Suffolk with a break. Save by Koza. Nicely throws that leg down. Big battle along the boards. Kernaghan. Oh, nice pass. Whips it across body. A no-looker. Getting it over to Matthew McIntosh. McIntosh leaves it there for Hebig, who bobbled it but gets it back to him. Another nice save by Koza. Oh, just avoiding the over and back. There's the over and back. That's a nice play by Michael Green. I'm really enjoying the game that Green's having for Australia here today.
And McShannock got that pass, hit him right in the stick, too. He would have had a breakaway if he caught it cleanly. Instead, ends up having to go back, and then he gets pushed over the center line.
There's another nice save by Koza, and there's the man up ahead. They're looking, they get it to Gutnecht. He's going to slow things down a little bit, or is he? He'll push it ahead to Ganch. Gutnecht staying for the offensive set. Leaves it for Ernst. Australia late in the 30, getting out after it. That was just after the shot clock, and you can hear the bench yelling, get out on them. It's late in the 30. The call to push out. You want pressure in the last few seconds, but you can't just run wildly at them and let the forward drive to the net.
Australia's really figured out their communication compared to last year in Winnipeg, where that was where they really struggled. There was a lot of missed assignments, and again, there's going to be some bumps and bruises down the road when you play Canada tomorrow.
Here's
but
a chance
today,
for Nickel. They tried again to Kernaghan through the middle, but yeah, you're right. I mean, the the communication a big factor. Nickel trying to get it back. He's going to get loose and the 30 will expire. It's great to see Wade Hammond again, an Australian senior national team veteran, coaching this club, and you can see the impact it's having. And Jack Stokes, as we mentioned, played for Australia in the 2019 IIJL World Juniors. Here's a chance and a goal. That's a beauty. Two-man game. Preston Stewart. He said let them cook, and that's exactly what they're doing there.
There's the hat trick for Preston Stewart, and again you can see Sika slide around his D-man, hit Stewart inside, double team, doesn't phase him, and he's able to put this one low to the glove side on Connor McGee.
4 minutes to go in the third, and Poland gradually, slowly extending their lead. The Aussies hanging in there. Back-to-back goals for Stewart. And that will be Australia possession. Statham. Page hands it off. Australia taking their time, down to 18 on the shot clock. McIntosh finds the far cross-court pass to Page, who's going to run up to the top and get it to McIntosh. Little underhand, bounces out to Statham. Oh, a diving attempt. Kind of a slow shot attempt, and then decides, no, I'm just going to pull it down and go. Remembered he could dive into the crease. Good job by Australia. They're taking away the transition chances as Gutnick was looking to push the pace. Here's Mayers. Nice pick by Elliott, but he couldn't accept the pass on the roll. So he goes back to Mayers. Back-to-back picks by Matthew Wagner, who just wasn't able to accept that pass. It was down around waist level. Here comes Suffolk on the run. The penalty coming on the stick that got a little high. It's a slashing call. And I like that play by Suffolk to kind of hesitate and then accelerate again.
Well, he draws a penalty, and that's what you want if you're going to run in transition, make the other team uncomfortable. Koza makes a good save on that. And now for Australia, this is their 7th power play of the game. They've got 1 power play goal, and of course they had that 5-minute major, which they were unable to capitalize on.
2:45 to go here in the third quarter of the 2023 IIJL World Juniors. I'm Steven Stamp with Cody Jansen and Ryan Flaherty. Hebig not open on that cut, so they're going to reset. Kernigan hands it off to Nickel. There's Hebig in front. Got a pretty decent shot off, reaching around the defender Ganch. Koza, though, saw it all the way.
And that's the big thing, right? It was a predictable play. When you see him coming to the middle as a goaltender, he takes that extra half a step out, cuts down the angle, and it gets stuck in his jersey.
Rat turns it around. Sika tries to hit the cutter, can't quite get it to Stewart. The 30 will expire. Sika was saying, well, you're blowing in for the restart, but it hadn't been yet. But again, that's a little inexperience by Australia, where they should have just let the 30 expire, get the 9 feet, and there's no question about restarting. Just make sure you don't, because he was trying to pick it up while there was a second left on the shot clock. Again, communication, a big factor there. Still 40-plus seconds on the power play. They get it up to Nickel. He'll rip a sidearm that's well wide. Oh, it's a nice pass. Hebig can't get the shot through. He's going to run out of time. He actually got the shot off in time, and they reset it. Australia gets the possession. That worked out very well for them. That last second shot gets them a new 30, and they've still got 22 seconds on the power play to work with. Kernigan and Hebig will just switch spots. Back up to Kernigan. Oh, that's a low pass to Hebig. 4 seconds on the penalty. McShannock's going to come out and join the rush here and be a, oh, I thought he was going to go as a trailer. He'll just head to the bench as he saw numbers were dissipating. So we will back to even strength with 38 to go here in the third quarter.
Poland penalty kill, now 6 for 7 in the game.
Just 3 left on the shot clock. A little reverse whip action. It's wide, and it will be possession for Australia. Nobody's used a timeout yet, but you're probably not going to take it here in the third. Close, running in, sees all kinds of white jerseys, and he'll let them set up. They almost have it over him back. Just 7 on the game clock. Hard rip from the outside. Thomas realized they're running out of time, and now everyone will run out of time. Play's being blown back in, as I think the one official missed the buzzer going. It's a loud one here that ends the third quarter, and it will be 7-2 for Poland after 3 quarters of play. And this World Juniors is brought to you in part by Tech Savvy. Thanks for Tech Savvy for helping make this tournament possible. We will be back in just under 2 minutes with the fourth quarter. Canadian Lacrosse League is proud to work with Support Our Troops, donating proceeds from the military jersey auction to help Canadian military members, veterans, and their families overcome extraordinary challenges as a result of military service. Visit supportourtroops.ca for more information, and down between the benches to Ryan Flaherty.
That's right here with Poland head coach Luke Szczepaniak, just getting a little bit of water. Of course, everyone needs a little refreshment on the bench. Coach, you told me earlier you like the way your team finished things out last night. Do you feel you've had the carryover you were looking for here today?
Yeah, I feel like we've really kept. I feel like we've really kept our momentum going. We had a good practice today. The guys really settled into the system, and I think they're executing it well today. The scoreboard's looking a lot nicer for us, and we feel good.
A little more physical game than you had last night as well. How do you feel the team's handling that, and what do you have to do over the final 15 to close it out?
I feel like they're handling it well, and I think we need to use that. I think our physical game is one of our assets, and we need to use that to make the other team uncomfortable and put them off their offense.
All right, thanks for this. Good luck the rest of the way. Thank you. Guys?
The Canadian University Field Lacrosse Association and Maritime University Field Lacrosse League are proud education and career development partners of the CLL. Visit cufla.ca and mufll.ca for recruitment opportunities to play university lacrosse in Canada. And that CUFLA website is going to be rebooted soon. CUFLA 2.0. We are ready to roll with quarter number 4, and Cody, it's 7-2. Australia obviously would like to strike quickly. Poland, as Luke Szczepaniak said, feeling pretty good about the way things have turned around tonight.
And a lot of it starts with their goaltender, right, in William Cozy. He stopped 33-35 in this game. If you get that type of goaltending, you are going to be golden in junior lacrosse.
Australia with possession off the face-off. Hebig hands it off there to Kernaghan. It's a pretty solid rip, but again, Koza saw it all the way. Nice little pick to Spring Rat. Gets up into the offensive zone. Duck under the check by Preston Stewart. Down to Sika. Sika underneath. Just missed. Did it touch? Yes, it went off. Just grazed McGee, which means a fresh 30 for Poland. That's going to be a through the crease call, and Australia will get possession. Ernst just drops it in the corner, and Tyler James will get it. Immediate pressure from Ernst, heads up play, as he knew that James was having to make the long pass because nobody was coming back to help out. And that one's turned over, as Australia never looked quite comfortable on that one. On the run is Chase Richardson. Tries to feed a pass through. Probably a bit of a force, but he gets a break as it comes back to him. And he'll slow things down, hand it off. And Stewart's going to go immediately to Sika. Fifth attacker coming out. Nice job by the Aussies to pick him up. As that was Wagner coming off the bench. Nice save, McGee. Australia's got it. Papazoglu had the stick checked, and he's yelling at his teammate Statham to come and get the ball as everyone just kept running forward as the ball was slowing down. Oscar Page hands it off. Kernigan, the short pass. Page, the little step back shot. His best Curtis Dixon impression, except for putting it in the net, but not a bad opportunity. That's a big loose ball push. Charlotte Lafreniere wins the battle, but illicitly in the judgment of the official. I think that's a good call. And Page will hand it off immediately to Hebig. Okay, that's a big push. Here's Coda Tran. Rumbling forward. That pass is knocked down. It's actually knocked up and out of play into the stands. So he'll have another chance, and Tran manages to make this pass ahead, and Keenan Hunchak into the offensive zone.
Poland will be happy to use the full 30 clock for this fourth quarter here as they're up by 5. No need to push anything.
Both teams have their second half timeouts still available. 10 on the shot clock, and that pass goes nowhere near anyone. So Ratchie gets there, but gets past him, and McGee is looking up. Here they go. They're trying to extend it with the long outlet pass, and they do. Nice hustle to get off the floor, but good race back by Gutenek to take away the transition opportunity. Could have had a little more zip on that pass to give Statham a chance. I think it was Jack Higgins that was racing off the floor. It was either him or Suffolk. Just want to give credit. You got to give credit to the guys who hustle and create that chance. Late in the shot clock, the Aussies will just get a defender out. Here comes Thomas Ratt. Sika looking for the pass to Stewart. Now it gets there to Stewart. Little bobble which allowed Green to get out onto him. McGee with the hand save. Oh, another save by McGee, and then he points out where the loose ball is. And Australia gets it. It was, flung away from himself, though, by Showbrook. He was feeling a little pressure, and it's scooped up here by Shireflug.
33 saves now for Connor McGee between the Australian pipes.
And some of them are pretty high-quality shots that he's been facing and turning aside. Penalty coming to Australia. So Koza racing to the bench, but it's going to be picked up by Australia just as he gets there. There'll be no extra attacker opportunity, but there will be a man-up advantage for Poland.
Well, a slash is going to be the call, and it might have been a high stick as well, so call it whatever you want. Hunter Sika took one right in the chops. You get a replay, and it's that just follow-through of the cross-check. He's got a stick on his helmet, and then he pushes upwards at the end, and that's what gets called as you see a little bit of the physical play continue behind the goal line there.
Australia penalty to number 8, Michael Green, 2 minutes for slash.
Green has had a very strong game, the Australian captain, playing very well, but again, it's Papazoglu limping to the bench. He is definitely looking increasingly uncomfortable as this game goes on. It's a big game, though, for Australia. This battle for what looks like it'll be second place in Pool A. Shireflug. That one kind of bounced around a little unorthodox, but another save by McGee, and he's got the outlet pass. Higgins, he throws it behind him, back shoulder. Higgins almost was able to make like T. Higgins and get back to get the pass, but Stewart fought through and won it. Oh, another save by McGee on a nice pass. Quick shot by Elliott. And icing it is James Suffolk. That'll be turned the ball over to Poland with 1:16 left on their power play.
If there was icing in lacrosse.
Yeah, it was a metaphor. Elliott taking his time up top, directing traffic. Asks for a pick, gets it, but that pass doesn't get through. Ball pops out of the scrum momentarily, but it's busy once again. Now trying to come away with it is Higgins. He loses it. Sika's got it, just 2 to shoot. That one's blocked. Nice soak by Suffolk, and Australia's going to get the ball. Hunter Mayers has to watch out as he was starting pretty close, but a nice heads-up play to set a little screen there. And then Charlotte Lafreniere was looking a bit shaken up. Here comes Ratchie with the ball. 31 seconds left in the Australia penalty. 10 on the shot clock, so they can take all but 15 of the penalty up.
Need goals, though. No need to sit back right now.
Yeah. Green will get a last drink in the penalty box and get up and ready to roll. And we'll try to race back. We'll see. Yeah, he's going to race back into the defensive zone because Poland aware how long is left on the penalty. So he'll join the defensive set as Schierflug throws it down low. They look to Gutnick at the top. Now he's going to set a pick. That pass is out of the reach of Stewart. Driving to the net. Nice strip on the trail check there by Suffolk, who's having a strong game.
Australia's defense has certainly not been an issue in this one. They've played very fine. It's the offense that has to find a new gear. And again, down by 5 with 8:25 left. Not impossible, but you got to start chipping away very soon.
Nice quick stick attempt, but just turned into a bit of a wide changeup. They come back to McIntosh. That had a whole lot more oomph on it, but right into Koza. He's got it back and will spin into the corner. Checked there by Coda Tran. No problem for McIntosh. And they get rolling again with 16 on the shot clock right now. Page fights off the check. Throws a pass and handcuffs Statham a bit, but he manages to recover, and Showbrook moves it on McIntosh. That one's right off the arm or face of
That was off the helmet.
Koza. Off the helmet, that's what I thought. Up and out of play. Fresh 30 for Australia. We need 5 goals in 7 minutes and 40 seconds. Double screen opens it up for Page, who scored from close to that spot earlier, but this time Koza was well ready and never even got to him. That'll be snagged there from Keenan Hunchak, but he drops it on a nice back check, forecheck, sorry, and the shot by Hebing is stopped. Outlet pass. Now that's a frozen rope. Gets it ahead to Gutnecht, but he'll pull it back and slow things down. Here is Poland setting up. Preston Stewart leaves it there for Sika. They go to the far side. He gets away from Elliott. A little hesitation. You see Tyler James thinking, do I go, do I stay? He made a good decision to wait after he'd hesitated because he was going to get himself racing out of the ball in dangerous position. And the ball now, because of that partly, it's going to be turned over to Australia, or is it? Poland gets in after. James on the floor battling. It's a 10-second count. The Aussies couldn't get it up. And let's go quickly to between the benches to Ryan Flaherty.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Of course, William Koza having a great night here tonight now with 41 saves, and that might be thanks in part to the coaching decision from last night's game. Of course, speaking with Luke Szczepaniak before the game, said he was pretty beat up and tired after seeing 45 shots in that 18-goal first half against Canada last night, and the decision to take him out and put Maximus Chernish in for the second half may be paying dividends here tonight.
Poland gets the reset and running right out and ramming that. It's not through. It looked like it got through McGee on the hard shot from Preston Stewart.
Well, I think that got through, went off the post, and then McGee fell back on it. As you get a little overhead look here, it definitely was off the post, and McGee wisely falls back on it.
Spot on. Coming up on 6 minutes to go here. Stay with us after the games. We'll have the player of the game presentations. Remember tonight, our second game, Scotland and Israel at 8 Central Time. Shot by Australia stopped. Showbrook couldn't find it, and Koza once again has it. Has to dig it out with his hand and still gets the pass up the floor to try and push some transition. But McShannock's not going to be able to do anything on the run because Australia had had time to get their guys out. Oh, they had the cutter, but couldn't quite connect with Dallas Goodwill. Now the ball still loose in the corner. They just swatted ahead. Not a bad play there by Thomas, because you're going to get the 30 expiring, and Australia will get possession in the offensive zone.
Poland's only out shooting Australia 45-44 in this contest. The Aussies are holding their own. It just comes down to that finishing ability, and so far we just have not seen it in this game.
And that's not too surprising, again, for a team that's new. A lot of players new to the box. You see a little hesitation from Statham as he hands it off. Oscar Page doesn't hesitate, gets around the defender at the top, and here's a chance for Statham. That was a nice shot. Another great save by Koza. Statham, and a little pick by Page. I think the little plays like that, like Oscar Page not going after the ball, seeing Statham has a better angle at it, and just setting a pick to open up some space for him, is a sign of how quickly the lacrosse IQ is growing for the Australian team. Statham to the near side. The underhand rip hard by McIntosh, but again, Koza all over it. Outlet pass. Flattened was Gutnick. Nice check by Green. Now the Aussies will try and push it. Can Higgins find somebody? He's on his off floor. He's got the man coming off the bench. Oh, we've got an Australian player on the floor, and wow. Connor McGee is over quickly to check on his teammate, give him a little pat on the back.
Well, you can see the big hit by Green first on Gutnick, and then it's Green who got thrown in there. And it's that awkward room where his momentum was taking him into the boards as well, and he couldn't control himself, and the shoulder and head slam against the glass.
Yeah, the trainer Kendra is out there to give him a hand. There's the Australian bench, and that is Jonas Dirks, one of the Israel coaches, who's checking to see how long to go until his lot can get out. Stu Sturparn, the head coach for Israel. They are up against Scotland next. You'll have the play-by-play for that one, Cody. And what are you thinking about that game? It could be interesting as Israel makes their debut at the tournament for this year.
Israel's got a lot of offense here. Scotland's going to have to tighten up their defense a ton, because the likes of Josh Fodchuk, the likes of Jackson Baker, those are two players who can shoot the lights out if you let them.
And Archie Papazoglu is up. What a tough night he has had. And that might be a case of just, he's been struggling all evening and then goes into the boards pretty hard, and it's a cumulative effect. Bit of a breather. Australia will be able to set up their offense, and Oscar Page is going to start with it. Page is ready to go. The one ref is ready to go, but Papazoglu is still making his way off the floor.
Again, Australia's got Canada tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. That'll close out round robin play. Also, we've got Israel, USA. That's at 5 o'clock tomorrow.
That should be a dandy, the Israel-US game. Israel really giving the U.S. a push last year, and then the U.S. pulling away late in their playoff game. Koza looking up the floor. Almost there, but a nice heads-up play by Orlando Kernigan to get back and take away the outlet transition pass. But, of course, it's not. That's okay, the pass had been made. I was thinking for a moment that Cooper Gantz still had it. He was behind center, but he had thrown it ahead. And here's Henry Elliott taking his time. Just 8 on the shot clock. Poland is happy to let that clock tick down. Now they're going to look for a shot, and they get a good chance. Pretty good defensive play by Tyler James to make sure it wasn't a dangerous opportunity. And Australia will head up the floor. That ball is knocked loose, but picked up again by Jackson Close. These are there for Page.
Page has one of the 2 goals Australia has in this tournament.
Kernigan has the other, and he was thinking about a shot. There goes to Ratchie instead. That was a hard shot, again, up in that neck area, but the gear got it this time instead of the skin. And Koza will adjust things, but he is fine as Charlot Lafreniere comes up over center, just over 3 minutes to go here in the final quarter. Sika tries to spin off the check. Pretty good 2-man defense. Then Goodwill gets closed in on. As you mentioned, the defense for Australia is playing very well. You can see the development. That comes partly, I think, from having a defensive player as the head coach. And here is a transition chance for Statham. Might want to have that one back. Great opportunity. Nice job getting up the floor, and then Hebig had no idea Amy was coming. Gantz with a great play on the trail check, and that's partly on Hebig, but his teammates need to let him know that somebody's coming.
Yeah, there was no communication out there at all, and then Poland goes and throws one away themselves.
And that's maybe the easiest time to communicate, when your teammate is 3 feet in front of the bench. Oh, that's a good shot by Hebig. Good decision, just a little bit wide. Poland gets it back, the outlet pass. Gutnicht will slow things down. And that's where if it's the other way and you need a bunch of goals, you're probably going to go and push that, but wise decision to pull it back, but not a great pass, and it's turned over. Here comes Jackson Close on the run. That's going to be timeout. Australia, Wade Hammond is going to pull his group together and I think have Dan Hall chat with the offense to try and set something up and get a third goal. Let's go down to Ryan Flaherty between the benches. Ryan, what are you noticing?
Yeah, you guys were just talking about the communication piece, and absolutely, that's something that has been evident here throughout this game. Just, again, one of those signs of a team that's just kind of feeling its way, finding its way into this event, and players just kind of getting accustomed to each other. There has been a lot of energy and talk on that Australian bench, but in terms of the communication from the bench to the floor, it's still leaving something to be desired. But certainly the effort level and the will is there. Now for Poland, this entire fourth quarter, the watchword has been hold the ball. Between quarter 3 and 4, Luke Japaniak telling his team, hold that ball till you got less than 10 seconds left. So trying to take time away from that Australian team. They've done a fairly good job of it here in the fourth, but really this has turned into a bit of a goaltending battle here over the last quarter and a half.
Yeah, thanks, Ryan. William Koza giving up just 2 goals through the game so far, and Connor McGee at the other end allowing just 7.
Well, we thought Shane Friesen put on a heck of a goaltending performance yesterday. William Koza's one-upped him with this. This has been the goaltending performance of the tournament, and I don't know how someone is going to beat this.
Giving up fewer than 2 would be pretty impressive, and he has faced a bunch of shots. Again, the shots on goal 48-45, so it's not like Australia's been heavily outshot. That pass doesn't get to Ratchie, and it also doesn't get to McIntosh. Bounces around off the boards, and Gantz comes up with it. He's going to sprint up. He's got McShannock with him. The pass was a nice one, but McShannock was thinking about getting to the net before he caught it. Now he's on the floor and almost grabbed it with his hand, then swiped at it a little wildly, and they are going to say withholding on McShannock, and Australia will get the ball.
No, it's a roughing call.
Oh, it is a roughing penalty. Oh, to Matthew McIntosh.
You get a look there behind the play.
Okay.
Ran into him, and he'll have a few words with the ref who... Well, I guess the conversation's going to keep going on there. I think cooler heads are going to prevail. Obviously, McIntosh not too happy about the call.
You don't often see the official decide, no, we'll keep talking, and head over into the penalty box to explain exactly why that call was made. So obviously, not a great situation for Australia if they were trying to come back. But they're, 7-2 game. They're trying to get as close as they can. They've had a solid effort. Poland will play a fairly methodical power play here. They're not in a rush to try and get to the net. Sika. They've got Ernst sitting on the back door on the lefty side. They think they might be waiting to try him, but they're going to run out of time. As Stewart will just flick it into the corner.
Poland 2 for 6 on the power play, assuming they finish in that second seed with a win here tonight. They're going to have to get that figured out because the tournament only gets harder as the week goes along.
Ratchie can't quite get that one. He's going to head into the corner. Ball's on the floor. The Polish player down on the ground trying to come up with it, and eventually does. And Gutnicht will just roll out of trouble. It's going to be possession. Australia, though, illegal pick called on Coda Tran. Getting a little overzealous and probably didn't need to there, but it's not going to matter much as we're into the final 40 seconds. Kernigan thought about ripping it over to Page. That's a pretty nice shot by Page, but again, Koza just seeing the ball so well, and he'll make the short pass here. Poland can kill the final. You can hear Poland's coaches yelling, use the clock. Poland's asking for a timeout, and it was kind of funny because Henry Elliott, they're calling for timeout, and he's running across the floor yelling, timeout, 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 and just looking at the ref as he's getting closer and closer, like, give us the timeout.
Well, now would be a reason for them to use it in a sense of you can run a play as if you were down, right? These are all scenarios that you can't really go over in practice. Well, you can, but not against a real defense and goaltender. And so let's get a look at Preston Stewart here. He's got 3 in the game already. You get a look at that opening one on the breakaway. Perfect finish on that. And Preston Stewart certainly wasn't there. Cuts underneath on the defender, and he's able to go low to the glove side for his 2nd of the game. And he had 1 more as well. Sika to Stewart in front. The 2-man game prevails. And he has been the best forward on the floor as of game number 3 in the tournament.
Yeah, he has been fine tonight. So 13.6 seconds. I thought Poland might actually pull the goalie, but with the power play already, there's not really much benefit to it. So they're going to go with the power play setup. They're going to wait down to 6 seconds, and I think they took the time out to say don't shoot. They'll go and congratulate William Koza and celebrate a 7-2 win that will give them a 1-1 record, should put them in good spot for 2nd place in their pool.
And what a game by Koza. You got to take into consideration, McGee was awesome too, but Australia outshot Poland 49-45 in this game. Koza was the better goaltender. Koza was the best player on the floor tonight.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that. We may be hearing about his name shortly again, as we will have the player of the game presentations. And Ryan Flair, did you want to add anything while we see the handshake line and the players prepare for the player of the game presentations?
Yeah, I mean, just from observation down here between the benches, I think we after that first goal, 11 seconds in, I think some of us in the building were thinking, oh boy, we might be in for a long day here for the Australian side. But really credit to them and their stick-with-itness. You know, they only gave up 3 in that first quarter, and in the second half, you guys talked about the defensive performance. It was outstanding. Just, again, looking for the offensive finish at the other end. Poland, though, you can sense a lot more calm on that bench throughout this game than they had last night. There was a bit of frantic play, especially through the first half and maybe part of the third quarter for Poland last night. None of that here tonight. Everybody seemed to be on the same page, and obviously the result is proof right there.
The teams will head to their respective restraining lines for the player of the game presentations as the coaches wrap up the handshake lines, although Tyler James, the last Australian to get out there. And we will go to the floor with Chris Fox handing out the president of the IIJL, and he's going to call over the players of the game to give them their awards. And we'll start with Poland. Not much question. William Koza, obviously, right?
Easy choice. He had a shutout in the second half too.
Yeah. And on the other side, a few of the Australians played very well, but we could see a lot of padding in the player of the game presentations here. As for Australia, yeah, Connor McGee. Not the goalie coach Connor McGee, the goalie Connor McGee. Loved that story from Ryan Flaherty earlier. He'll head over to a big smile on his face. The growth of Connor McGee's game since last year's tournament, remarkable.
It's not 15 out of 17 in that second half as well. He gave his team a puncher's chance, and that's all you can ask for out of your goaltender.
So that will wrap things up for game number 3 from the 2023 IIJL World Juniors. And we will be back in about 1 hour and 11 minutes for the game between Israel and Scotland. But first, we're going to have the anthem of Poland, the victors in this game. we'll do it as the anthems wrap up. And again, in 1 hour and 10 minutes, Israel makes their debut at the 2023 World Juniors against Scotland. And we'll be back on behalf of Cody Jansen, Ryan Flaherty, and the rest of us here at WJLC 2023. Thanks for being with us on TSN Plus and YouTube.